was
All
cheesy,
right.
but good, yeah.
I did it. Welcome back, everybody. We're talking about what a cheesy but good movie Wild Wild West was. And in definitely no way an inspiration, what are you talking about?
Absolutely not. I certainly don't have any movies with Will Smith in them that I've ever liked.
Who likes Will Smith? God.
Oof. Oof.
Wow.
All right.
Okay, I'm a big liar. I think I like every movie Will Smith's been in.
I was on
Even Evolution.
I haven't seen every movie that Will Smith's been in, but I can't think of one I didn't like off the top of my head.
I had issues with what is it called? The one where the zombie one.
I didn't watch
where
that
the
one.
I Am Legend.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm Legend.
I had issues with that because the original ending that didn't work well with focus groups, I liked that one better.
Well, I never saw that movie because I'm not a huge zombie fan, but
Yeah,
I
I mean,
guess-
I got it off Netflix for $1. It was worth $1.
That sounds about right.
okay. Beautiful, beautiful,
What
beautiful.
about Hitchcock?
Oh, I am
Movie?
torn. I am torn on that. Oh wait, Hitchcock. Oh,
The
yeah,
movie
I don't
Hitchcock?
Yes, the movie Hitchcock, not the director.
It was problematic but funny.
Okay, that's fair. That's a fair assessment.
I think it's funny. He's been in 2 movies. He's been in Hancock and Hitchcock.
Oh,
Right?
Hancock is the movie I'm thinking
Yeah,
of.
he's
Yeah,
been
no,
in
yeah.
like or Hitch. He was in Hitch.
Hitch.
Yeah.
And I
Yeah,
thought-
yeah.
I just combined them together into
Yeah,
one
into Hitchcock.
bad superhero.
So if a
rom-com.
I was about to say if a superhero was also a matchmaker, yes.
Yeah, like, I like Hitch, actually.
But he put a heart in the moon.
Right. And I was thinking of
That's so
Hancock,
good.
and I just made it into one movie.
Yeah, I was
Uh,
real confused for a minute. I'm like, I think I've seen this, but I don't.
Oh, I
think that's what
assumed
it
you
is.
meant
I
Hancock,
feel like
All
but
right.
mom right now. Did you see that movie?
Did you
So-
see that Hitchcock movie with Will Ferrell?
oh, no.
So both loving and hating every movie Will Smith's been in is controversial. So
Fair. Fair.
I just like Smith movies. Speed. Most of them, okay. I haven't seen Hitch yet.
Also funny but problematic.
Yeah.
Yeah, I liked it, but I saw it a long time ago, so I don't know if I'd still like it.
Also true.
I-
Also true.
I was like cringing for most of it, but I liked Will Smith. That's all I can say. I liked him in it. I think he did a good job with the role.
There you go.
That's all.
There you go.
That's all I can say.
Yeah. No. Yeah. All right. Great. So we were all a little bit spread out.
Yeah, so let's get the party together. I think I'm going to go with my original plan of like having you all snowball into one big group,
Sure.
and then you'll be ideally all together for an hour to hour and a half.
all
And then
right.
the player characters just do player character things. And the
As-
GM plan, that's a good thing I didn't have any plans, right?
I mean, that's the only way I GM.
Yeah, same.
Uh,
Best bit of GM is just to not have plans.
I have a really thick GM notebook, but it's not of plans. It's all of stuff that I wrote down mid-session, either that I made up or that my players made up, that I wanted to remember for next time, because pulling back ideas from previous sessions is always good.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, especially when your players decide to connect two things that you didn't intend to be connected.
Mhm.
They're like, this guy is totally the same guy who was in the background of this scene, and you're like, they absolutely were. And then they think you're brilliant,
Exactly.
And
Exactly.
you're like, I'm just listening.
right? Yeah,
It's like, wow, they weren't a second ago, but they sure are now.
we're
Yeah.
out, right?
That's one of my favorite phrases as a GM. They're like, "Is this a thing?" And I'm like, "It is now." It's not like it wasn't before. I just never considered it, you know?
Yeah. No. Never considered it. Write it down in your notebook. Yeah, okay, so here's the scene. Fiddlesticks, you are you're at the confluence of the Willamette River and the Columbia River, which is the Willamette River is the river Oregon City's built on. It goes pretty much south to the middle of Oregon. And the Columbia River is this absolutely massive river that splits Washington from Oregon. And you're like at the intersection of this, at the area where they converge. So in the real world, this is where, oh man, Portland is. But there's no Portland here because Portland only exists because there weren't hundreds of thousands of Indians in Oregon, which there are now because of Dark Lavender Void's line. So you look around the Columbia River, and like in every bend of the river, there's a thriving Indian village. And in the middle of the river right now, there's a bunch of oxen like swimming around wildly, and there's like Indians with nets.
I mean, they're tethered to each other.
Well, the tether broke up.
Oh no!
So the Indians are trying to catch the buffalo, and you see a family like huddled together on this raft, and like half of the wagon is in the water, like it's kind of like trailing like the spine of the wagon and like one of the walls and some supplies. You think you see some yeah, what's in there?
None of the books. The books are all with Teo. So inventing supplies.
Yeah, inventing parts. Like you see lots of gears and springs and handles and like screwdrivers of every size. And then you hear this like clomping sound in the forest next to the river bank. It seems like the clomping is getting closer.
I suspect that I probably recognize the Rydeer family.
Yeah.
But I don't think I'd have any reason to suspect that Teo has made this monstrosity.
No. So when a tree almost falls on you, and you see great gleaming metal thing in the forest, what do?
Probably leap backward, and get out of its way, get around. Maybe get up into a tree so that I can pounce on it, get some revenge. At least keep my eye on it. Don't trust it.
How's Theo driving?
I imagine him inside, like there's like a little grate that he can look out of in the front.
Yeah.
And he's probably got like little levers that he can flip and stuff, and dials to twizzle, and like a little joystick type thing.
Yeah, you might have trouble seeing fiddlesticks through the grates of the fireplace.
Yeah, I don't think that he can. He can't see much. It's lucky he hasn't driven into the river, TBH.
Yeah, I don't think it floats very well.
No, it would be walking through the river, and that would not work. It would probably just.
Yeah.
So now Theo sees like the scene, like his family singing together, and the oxen being captured by Indians. What do you do?
The books are more important, so I'd probably carry on. I see that my family's not underneath the water. They're still on the raft. They're still afloat. The supplies, we can get more. We can make more. We can melt stuff down and make it. We build things. We're okay. And the oxen, the fact that they're getting captured sucks. But there's not a lot that we're in a position to do about that. He's more focused on making sure that his family makes it down the river alive. If it looks like they're about to go under, he'll intervene, do what he can, but he's not really in a position to do anything.
So do you just sit and watch and wait for your family to get to shore? Like, what's the plan?
I plan to drive my giant potbelly stove mech to meet them.
Okay.
So I clear out of the forest. I just keep tromping along, click, 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 tromp,
Right.
click, 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 tromp.
So you're approaching this large native village
I'm keeping
at the
pace.
confluence.
I'm keeping pace alongside. I don't trust whatever this is.
It doesn't smell right.
No, it doesn't, and it's gonna. I'm worried. I care about my family. You know, what if something happens to Abigail? Precious little Christopher. I guess Archibald's okay.
He's got a funny hat.
Sometimes I knock it off his head.
Nice. So, yeah, you're keeping pace with the giant stove. And the giant stove is like approaching the Indian village, which is right next to the river meeting up with, the other river. And the yeah, you said it wasn't right there. How do you pronounce it?
Rider.
Read. I can't.
Reader. How about Reader?
The Reader.
Excellent.
Reader. Oh, it's like Reader. Okay, Reader. Okay, so the Reader family. Yeah, they want to meet up with you, so they're totally going to get some paddles and paddle to shore. Now that the current is nowhere near as strong as it was. So they get to shore. You also see maybe a dozen natives getting together. You got to see what happened, and the raft, so the way they fish is they have giant nets on the waterfalls, and when the salmon try and jump up the waterfall, and these are Chinook salmon, they're as big as a person, and they're flying into the air. They catch them in these nets, and it's like 4 or 5 people per net, and they got these like elaborate scaffoldings all around, the cliff faces of the waterfalls where they stand to catch the fish, and they got all tangled up, and they're pretty pissed off because the raft just went through there.
Yeah.
Without any warning. And they're approaching you, and what do you do?
Are they approaching me specifically or my family? Because I was not in the raft.
You're both like in the same direction right now.
Okay.
They're yeah, they'd be upstream. And they're all coming downstream towards you and your family.
I think I would bring my stove mech to a halt, open up the front and kind of leap out of it, and run up to them and say, the natives are coming. What do you want us to do about it?
Oh, we've got to get out of here. I think, who would? Yeah, I think Marcel's talking. We've got to get to Oregon City.
Yes, but we have ruined their scaffolding. And they are very, very angry.
They don't look like they're going to talk.
A man strolls up next to Teo, totally calmly. Looks like you're having a bit of trouble there, yeah? Want some help?
I turn and look at you. Do I recognize you at all?
I don't think so. I don't think anyone has seen his little tricks since he gained that power.
Okay. So if you were a cat, I might recognize you, but not as a human.
If he was a cat, the one thing you do recognize is he's got these strikingly blue eyes, which also the cat did have.
Okay.
That'd be the one thing that you would definitely notice.
Okay.
Too blue these eyes are.
So I think Teo looks at you and then looks away and then like kind of does a double take just because of those eyes, like they're very arresting. Mm-hmm. And he says, Well, help would be welcome, but you are stranger to us.
Fair
Do
enough.
not under-
He
do
turns
not
around and
understand.
starts walking away.
Do not understand why you would want to help me.
He stops and turns back. We had a fair bit of help coming down this path ourselves. Thought I'd just return the favor. Not
And
to those who done it, those who need it.
What do you recommend we do?
Well, first of all, get out of the river. That's for sure.
I think my family's already gotten out of the river.
Yeah, they're drying off.
Oh, okay. For some reason, I thought they were still in the river. That's okay.
I think you see Sylvia like picking like bits of silver out of the river that had spilled in.
Yeah.
But like she's getting like handfuls of stuff. Like you've lost so much more already.
Yeah.
Well, what I reckon is you can either leave that and run, or gift it to him as a recompense for what done happened.
Give them the oxen, the supplies.
I don't think you're getting them oxen back. Not without a fight.
We are not fighters.
Like, he looks over at your big mech thing, whatever that is.
Yeah.
It's like, you're just about wizards, though.
I just kind of laugh and shake my head. Well, we need to make a decision now because they are coming. So I'm going to get back in my thing, and we are going to get out of here.
I think Jacqueline pulls on Theo's shirt cuff, and she's like, Theo, can't we build them something that'll make them
Uh-oh.
Okay,
make
good.
them
That wasn't
know
just.
that
You cut
can
out.
help them?
You totally cut out for most of that.
Yeah.
I kind of stutter. Sorry. She's like asking like, can you help build something
If we can make them
for
listen,
them? That's what we do. We build things.
we could make them better scaffolding if we can get them talking, get them to listen. But
That-
otherwise, we are going.
Fiddlesticks just kind of claps. Yes, this is what I'm talking about. Exactly. Brilliant.
I don't know their language.
Fiddlesticks is like already walked off, like confident he has a plan, not thinking about things like language barriers. So he's like walking off to like greet whoever's coming.
Yeah, there's like a dozen angry Indians. They don't have weapons, maybe like knives for like cutting fishes. Maybe one of them has a spear. You could spare a salmon just as big as you. And they see this, but they see Fiddlesticks walking towards them. I guess they don't recognize Fiddlesticks, but Fiddlesticks still looks European, I assume.
Yeah, I would say that he looks vaguely European. I would actually probably say he looks of some type of mixed heritage, but with hair tending towards the lighter colors, so
Okay.
more blonde. But I don't think he looks.
In fact, the only person who looks European around here, I think, is Jacqueline.
I feel like probably Fiddlesticks, like his hair is this, like his hair and skin are like a similar color of like golden. You know what I mean?
Okay. Just assuming I'm European because you took this form originally to talk to super white British guys.
It's true. But I think this is another, like I said, I feel like it's kind of like a golden brown, which could pass for a European with a tan, but
Okay, cool.
is not. I don't think his skin color strictly occurs in nature, is what I'm trying to say.
I was trying to emphasize that you, as a shape changer, had a choice.
Oh no, I do, but I don't think. I think it will easily pass as like Caucasian with a tan, but
Okay.
I don't think that is why he chose this skin tone. Does that make sense?
All right. Yeah. So it's like basically you're trying to say is that Europeans will assume you're European with a tan. Natives will assume you're mixed native and European.
And blonde, yeah. Something gets the blonde hair
And
going.
something blonde.
Yeah, and something blonde question mark, which is pretty much European,
Okay.
almost entirely.
So, okay, so when you get like, let's say, 100 yards away from the readers, the Indian group like sees you coming towards them, and you probably are wearing European clothing,
Yeah,
but
fairly European.
yeah, one of them, actually the whole group stops when you're within a few feet of each other, and they're not making any hostile actions at you.
Mm-hmm.
And the leader, let's say the one with a broken fishing net, this net is about a yard wide.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
And he starts talking to you. How are we going to do language?
That's a good question.
Now, obviously, a bobcat did come from Europe.
Nope.
Do I actually have a language skill card? Probably not.
I definitely do not remember seeing one, and nobody chose one.
It wasn't on the list of things to choose, I don't believe.
Yeah.
Okay, good.
Okay.
Well, I mean, this is why I did not put such a thing in. So, what's your approach? Are you going? You need to figure out if you can understand them or not. Let's go with.
I mean, honestly, I was going to start talking as soon as we were within a reasonable speaking distance.
Okay.
Unless he started shouting first. Like.
Well, I feel like maybe you both start talking at the same time.
Okay, that's reasonable.
Okay, I remember now. I was going to let you put a maneuver on yourself that says that you speak a language. So probably you could use network.
Okay. I think it's possible that Fiddlesticks could speak this language, given the fact that he magically acquired shapeshifting powers. Who knows how magic works? Also,
Do you think he magically, coincidentally, just know a few languages, or you think Fiddlesticks is well versed in language?
I definitely think the answer is he doesn't know.
Okay.
I think
Let's go with a moderate answer. Like Fiddlesticks would know regional languages.
Yeah, that's pretty much what I was going to think. Like,
tongues, but
yeah.
Fiddlesticks can't speak most languages. So this seems like a median scope. It's not like you know every language in the country. And It's not like you just know a few local languages. So we're going to say that it's going to be a difficulty to make this maneuver on yourself. And then you'll have an aspect on yourself knowing native trade tongues.
Okay. All right, and that is network, right?
Yeah, network.
All right, so that's at a +1. I got a 1. That's not enough.
No.
Um.
Okay.
I could re-roll, but I don't think I could. I don't think narratively I could invoke 2 aspects here, even just pooping those fate points. Because chatty, I think I could definitely.
Yeah.
Morbidly curious, I could see, actually.
Yeah.
Doesn't spending a fate point to flat increase a roll add +2?
Yeah.
So wouldn't you
But-
just go chatty? It would go from 3 to 5, and you'd pass.
No,
Right.
it's at
She's
1.
Oh, it's at 1. It's at 1. Okay.
It's at 1. If I do this, it'll go up to 3, and I need it to be at 4.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. Objection withdrawn.
Overruled.
I really want to do this though.
Again, I could see morbidly curious work, like, because you're interested in solving problems and mysteries.
Yeah. Yeah. Language is like a problem. Or a
And
mystery.
so are these Indians right now.
For sure. I'm willing to spend these fate points, even narratively saying that. Well, anyway, it's magic. We'll just leave it at it's magic.
Yeah. It's death magic now, though.
I mean, that's true. The word morbidly is in there.
All right, so we're going to add a maneuver onto you. This had 1 extra strength, so it's not going to stick around long.
Sure.
It'll last to the end of the session. Just right like that. It has a strength of 1, which means that it's very easily removed if for some reason you wanted to, or if somebody else wanted to deliberately start talking in languages you didn't understand. It's very easy to overcome.
Okay. Cool.
But yeah, you start talking. What do you say?
I think I start talking, and I don't even think Fiddlesticks realizes that he's not speaking English when he addresses these people. Like, it doesn't cross his mind. Because I think the shape-shifting magic is what lets him talk in the first place, and the fact that he could just instantly speak English was also not questioned. So, anyway, so yeah, he has this huge smile on his face, and he just like waves brilliantly, and is like, "Oh, hello, friends. Seems there's been a bit of a misunderstanding here. Unfortunately, my friends here, their boat got a little out of hand, but you are very much in luck, as they are brilliant inventors, and we'd be more than happy to not only replace what was broken, but improve upon it at no cost to you."
All right, so they were like going to ask who you were and where you came from. You're like all of a sudden launching into like this really persuasive
Sales pitch.
sales pitch. So let's see here.
The best way to not to not have to lie is to not let them ask the question in the first place.
Yeah.
It's a good point.
Oh, you don't have sway.
I do have sway, but it's only tier 1.
You do have sway.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's the most likely skill for what you described.
Yeah. Okay.
Or you could
Yeah.
be gossiping about your friends.
I
But
could
think it's
definitely
likely
feel.
you're trying to sway.
I think I'm trying to sway here. Honestly, as much as I would love it to be gossip, I'm really trying to sway here. So.
So, fortunately, Faye has this rule where if you have a skill that is also applicable but isn't going to need to roll, and it's higher, you get a +1. So you'll do that. So you're going to roll it with +2 on your sway.
Okay. That's effectively like I used gossip in the first place, but
There
still.
you go.
Yeah.
What they want is to get repaid.
And what I'm offering them is them to get repaid, just maybe not how
what they want.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm gonna say a difficulty at 2.
All right, I got to roll pretty bad here. No, I got it.
Nice.
Boom.
Nice.
All right. So yeah, the Indian guy says, let's see what he say. He says, it's been a while since Americans offered to repay us when they've wronged us, but and then he turns to his friends and they all talk, and he says, well, it's worth giving them a chance to prove that they can be trusted.
Righto. Also, we should put the dice rolls on the screen.
And we have some twine.
Yes.
It'll take a while to replace the scaffolding, though.
Well, we're not too far from Oregon City, and that is our final destination. So I'm certain that they'll have plenty of time to repay you here. It wouldn't do very well for new neighbors to start off on such a bad foot. It's all a misunderstanding and bad luck, really.
Well, tell them not to take too long. This is winter. This is the best time to repair the scaffolds when the river is at its lowest. We have to get it fixed before spring, for sure.
He looks around and does this sweeping motion, taking in the late fall air, and is like, well, then we have plenty of time. Do you see that monstrosity? I have no idea what it is, and I saw them not 2 weeks ago.
Well, they can build things that fast?
Shocking. I don't think their capabilities have truly been tested. This will be a fabulous opportunity. Them repaying the wrong done here will also be a way for you to see what impressive talents that they have to offer by moving here and becoming your neighbors. We're all neighbors here.
Well, all right. I'll tell my family what's going to happen, so they won't be surprised. Tell your friends that we hold no ill will against them.
Excellent, excellent. Thank you, friends.
Thank you. And I think they'll back off.
He as soon as the other one starts to back off, he says, "Oh, pardon my manners. I do believe I never introduced myself."
Okay, so the guy comes back. He says, "All right, forgive me my name." He says, "My name is Swordfish.
Pleasure. I'm Fiddlesticks Whitaker.
Good to meet you, Fiddlesticks.
And you, Swordfish. And you. And then I'll head back.
All right.
And let Teo know that I've got them a job.
I mean, that doesn't pay, but at least it may pay in the reimbursement of our things.
I think he sells it to you very hard, that it not only pays in the reimbursement of your things, but it also pays in future patrons to your shop that you're sure to set up here.
Sure.
And it absolutely is 100% in your benefit.
It's a wonderful networking opportunity, great exposure.
Exactly.
So even laugh, but
He sells you on it so hard.
I've heard that one of the best ways to decolonialize a game is to make resources permanent and renewable. Like putting an aspect out here that represents a resource that you've helped build, this friendship, it totally represents that in the game, I think.
I like that a lot. Yeah. But yeah, I think they're glad that they don't have to run. They're glad that they can get their stuff back, and at least half of them feel really bad about destroying the scaffolding. So I think that they're happy to put in the work to help rebuild it and make it better. So.
All right. So what happens here then? I guess we're going to move on to the next group. So we'll say that the Readers keep heading towards Oregon City, and Theo and Fiddlesticks move.
We have to find the others, yeah.
Pick up the Wilsons.
And I think I leave the books behind, but I take the big walking thing because it's a great mode of transportation.
Does anybody else invent in the family? Not just.
We're all
Theo,
inventors.
right?
Yeah, we're all inventors.
So everyone can invent stuff.
Yeah.
And everyone needs the books.
Yeah, exactly. That's why I'm leaving the books with them. Because the books were too important to send down the rapids, which is why we separated it like this. But we need to send the books on to Oregon so that they can use that to set up shop and develop new inventions and stuff. But I'm gonna take the walking machine. Is the idea.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
All right. So we fade to black down there. Is we know the Readers. They build some kind of makeshift cart out of what remains of their old cart, and probably buy one of the oxen back somehow. And we see you guys moving up this mountain. There's actually a very narrow path that was widened by the Whitakers on their way down, but it started off as just a single file path that travelers might use on maybe with a pack horse or something behind them. But it's also you went down this on your giant.
You can call it a mech.
Stove. I don't call it a mech. Your giant stove mech. So you also are walking by parts this isn't the steepest part of the mountain, but it's basically a footpath. And it's really hard to get a wagon down here because wagons don't have brakes.
Right. Yet.
So it wasn't too hard for you with your mech to slow down the wagon, but it's not really clear how the Whitakers did it.
It's a mystery for the ages, really.
It's a mystery for the ages. So you all walk up the side of the mountain. It gets colder and colder. Maybe parts of the mech start to freeze. Pretty soon, there's like ice slicks and mounds of snow, but it's not that deep yet. Maybe it's like 6 inches of snow. It's a clear day, and you can see Fort Walla Walla in the distance. It looks like there's this wooden castle surrounded by a ring of like single-story buildings, like a complete ring. Not like it's round, but like imagine rectangular buildings end to end, but not in, like kind of in like a ring shaped structure. And there's like this trading house a little bit away from that ring. It's like a very defensible position. Yeah, you're just walking up to it with your mech and your cat buddy.
Yeah. Are you riding inside, Fiddlesticks? Or are you? Yeah, it doesn't smell right.
No, it doesn't smell right, and it's loud.
It is loud.
And
what does it sound like?
Click, 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 thwomp. Click, 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 thwomp. Basically.
Oh, the clicks. So many clicks.
Oh,
so
yeah,
many clicks.
It clicks a lot.
And also thumps a lot.
Oh, yeah.
So, yeah, you come up to the fort. There's, like, people standing on the roof of the fort, like, watching you. And you come to this, like, big double wooden door, like, arch at the top. And there's this huge ornamental iron knocker on it that no human could ever move.
I want to knock on it so bad. I think
no human could ever move it. Good thing you're in a giant walking stove oven.
Yeah,
not in that. Like,
though.
I feel like Fiddlesticks goes up to it and like kind of like bats up at it, trying to reach it. Like it's probably above his head or something, and he like jumps up and gets on it. But then he like cartoonishly, he's like squatting against the door, pushing in and out, but he can't actually make it move.
Yeah.
Nice.
I think I opened the front of my stove. And kind of like I'm holding on to it so I can kind of like lean out, and I'm like, hello, we are looking for the other members of our caravan. Have any set up for the winter here?
So one of the guys on top of the fort yells down, "Hello down there. And the remnants of a caravan did make it here. Half a dozen of them. Well, we're there. There was let me check the notes. There was a Winifred and her family, and I had this dog.
Oh, that would be good.
It was Ezra. Oh, and the Jordan family too. The Wilson family. Sorry.
Oh, yes, the Wilson family. We know them very well. They were traveling with us for some time. I think they fell behind when the snow started to come.
Well, they're here. Did you find a path worked well for your machine?
For me, yes. For a wagon, not so well.
No, there's no way a wagon could make it in this weather.
Not as it is at the moment, but perhaps with a little adjustment.
Are you here for the winter too?
Oh, no. Not at all. We are, again, looking for the members of our caravan, making sure that they have made it to safety. Is there a chance we could perhaps speak to them?
Oh, yes, of course. Hold on a second. And they talk a little bit, and then they start moving this giant counterweight, and the counterweight, like, starts falling, and then the door slides open.
And Fiddlesticks drops off of the door when it starts moving. He's been like in the background, like little chibi, like pulling at it this entire time.
Like maybe your paws are cold or your hands are cold because you're just grabbing iron in the winter.
Yeah.
It's definitely not wearing gloves. Not his style.
So you come into this large. Well, it's basically a keep, right? And historically, keeps were just one large room. So everyone's like huddling at the edges of the keep as all the warm air goes out, so that the door opens wide enough to let you mech in. Do you bring the mech inside, or do you just like let everyone freeze?
No, I would not. I'd leave it outside. No one else knows how to drive the thing anyway, so it's safe.
Just leave it with the keys in the ignition. It's fine.
It's totally fine.
I shut it down and I hop out, and I think I gesture to Fiddlesticks and I say, "Allons-y."
Yeah, and I just nod silently and follow in.
Yeah, so you see, quite a few members of like the larger caravan that you were with. Maybe like a third of the members, though.
Oh.
So not everyone made it this far, or didn't make it as far as you did when they got past her.
Okay.
But yeah, Jordan, you can totally see this giant metal mech.
Walking, stove.
Yeah.
At least for a moment while the doors open and they close it behind.
I do one of these numbers, like.
Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it.
And I recognize Teo, yeah?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think we canonically we spent a lot of time on the road together.
Yeah.
So I'll go over to him, since I recognize him. And he's a teenager, right?
He's like 18. Yeah, so
Okay.
he's not too young, but he's still fairly young.
I mean, by period standards, you're marriageable. So
I am marriageable. Yes. I just didn't want to play a minor because that could be weird. So
Fair.
So I come over to you and I'm like, "Did you drive that yourself, son?"
drives it myself. I made it myself.
All of those things are very impressive.
I am glad to see that you are safe, but where are the others?
I will lead the crew over to wherever everyone else is.
No, I mean the rest of the group. There are only, a third of you?
Oh, what did happen? Out of character. What did happen to the rest of the crew? Did they just not make it?
So Jordan would know that the wagon train kind of got spread out. Like, you may not have met everybody, on a daily basis. It's kind of like some of the people would have a lot of energy and get out ahead, and then everyone would catch up at night. But over time, over the period of months, people would break up into their own little groups, and they'd kind of take turns, like each of these groups lapping each other. So you probably had a group of like 2 or 3 families that was with you, and when it started to snow, some people came back from further ahead, and some people caught up. So you talk about, with the others, like where did everyone else go? They'll just tell you like, well, some of them didn't make it this far. We think pretty much everybody made it past the Snake River. Oh no, pretty much everyone made it past Fort Boys. But other than that, like, hopefully the people that aren't here turned around and went there.
I will give Teo a paraphrased version of that answer.
Sure. I get a contemplative look on my face because I'm worried about them, especially now that the snows are coming in. And, I know how hard that trail was on us, and we were out ahead. And so there's people behind in the snows. Um, I think I'm quiet for a minute thinking, and then I say, I think we need to go make sure that they are safe.
Well, you've got that great machine. Let's go.
Are you coming too?
I'll come.
Is your family going to be okay without your guidance?
I forgot my wife's name out of character.
If you scroll down, you can see your whole family.
Oh, okay. Oh, there they are. I'm like, Martha's a strong woman. She'll be fine.
All right then. I will show you how to get inside.
Great.
That was fast.
Yeah, Fiddlesticks just kind of shrugs and is like okay with this plan. Is gonna continue back with you guys. He didn't really say anything.
I mean, I'll go tell my spouse and children that I'm gonna go help some people get safely out of the snow, and I'll be back.
At some point.
Oh, yeah.
So
Fiddlesticks
Martha
definitely
and the kids-
did not tell the rest of the Whitakers that he was going anywhere at all. So just
I
pointing
love that.
out.
You're just a missing cat.
I mean, you get to a new place, the cat disappears. You expect eventually the cat comes home, right?
Yeah, exactly.
You give it a few weeks, eventually you'll find your cat again.
Yeah, the cat came back the very next day.
Thank you.
So while Jordan and Martha and the kids are having this group hug, Bud starts barking at Fiddlesticks. He's like, woof,
Shush.
woof,
Quiet.
woof.
I don't have time for you. I give him a little swipe across the face. It's not
Okay.
like a slap. It's like a swipe with like my fingernails that are a little bit sharp.
Yeah, that's not nice. Come
No,
on.
he's mean.
Bud whines, and
Aw.
Bud goes sits in the corner. He gets his head scratched by Ezra.
Yeah, like I kind of glare at him and then I look up and see Ezra and then like kind of look shamefaced and then look away.
He doesn't recognize you though, so Ezra's just like, "Who is this stranger?" And Ezra's the.
I definitely look away when he doesn't recognize me so he can't see my blue eyes.
Okay, yeah, he might figure out who you are. He's kind of weird. So yeah. So Jordan joins the party. Dun dun dun. And then you gotta travel onwards. So it's been some time. Like, we're just time skipping along, but it took you like a week to get in between like the Dells and Oregon City, and another week to get from Walla Walla to the Dells. And it'll take you 2 weeks now to get to Fort Boyce. So at this point, like, it's the middle of winter. So it's
I
been
have taken some time to insulate my stove to make sure that it's going to be a warm journey
Yeah.
for me and Jordan.
And what's going to warm it though? Because it's made out of metal. It conducts heat
Well,
very well.
Yes, but I'm gonna like insulate it, and then our body heat will basically just build up in there.
I wasn't sure if you were
Alright.
gonna put a stove in your stove.
I don't know that I could.
If you roll well enough, anything is possible.
I heard you like
I mean, I don't think I
stoves,
have
bro.
to roll for those skills though. They're just narrative ones, aren't they?
No, you gotta roll for everything.
Oh, okay. Okay, that's fine.
It's fine, whatever.
Yeah.
Or at least, so like if I think it's worse odds than a -2, I'll make you roll.
Okay.
Because fate's like, if it's even odds, you have a 60% chance of success. So you gotta have like something working against you to make it worth rolling for.
Okay.
So the group. So we're gonna like jump ahead to where,
Jemima?
the Belliers.
Bilers.
The Bilers. Okay, we're gonna jump into the Bilers, and we see the Bylers kind of have like made this kind of house by the riverbank, and there's like a number of like these makeshift houses. The problem is the houses are buried under like 8 feet of snow.
Oh wow.
You can kind of see out because you're by the river, so obviously the snow melts when it gets in the river. But what looked like this beautiful mountain valley that would totally stay warm in the winter, it's just all a trap. And now you are staying alive, using your snowshoes to hunt elk and bison and fish in the river. But unless you take drastic means, like, you're not able to leave this valley.
On the bright side, drastic means incoming.
You forgot
So
one crucial
day-
thing.
Sounds like
PCs.
The PCs come to town. You see like this giant hill of snow approaching you,
It's me.
and
exactly.
Jack is like, "Great tarnation! It's a wave of snow come from the mountain. It's going to bury us all."
That's
And
an odd shape for an avalanche.
it's also like really slow.
And loud. Click, 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 thomp. Click, 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 thomp.
It gets closer, it starts making this weird noise. At first, it's far away, so you think it's your pocket watch.
Doesn't that sort of sound like how the wagon sounds?
Yeah, your new fancy wagon, if it's not stuck in the mud, totally.
Cool. I say that to Jack.
Jack's like, "Wow, I don't know how wagons work. Maybe there's wagons being carried along in the avalanche. I don't know. I read about it in a book once."
I enjoy our Oregon Trail spec fic. Yeah. Or spec fic? Yeah. I dig it.
And he's like, maybe we can reinforce the snow barricade somehow. So he gets this giant saw, and he like starts getting the snowshoes on, So people in the mech, like, how are you navigating? Because like,
Oh, Fiddlesticks is still
like,
not. Fiddlesticks is still not in the mech. Clearly, what's
I mean-
happening is Fiddlesticks is like running along the top of the snowbanks and like shouting directions down to them in the mech.
Absolutely.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That makes
He,
sense.
navigator, and then, yeah.
Uh-huh.
I'm on board for this.
So is Fiddlesticks like the shape of a human?
Oh, that's a good question.
I was almost thinking you were in bobcat form, because then I think bobcats have paws that let them walk across snow.
They do. They do.
But then I would have to know, people would have to know you're talking bobcat.
Yeah, and we didn't really have that scene.
Yeah, so we might need, if we did that.
I mean, with the way I've been role-playing Jordan so far, I'm sure her reaction would just be like, "Okay, that cat talks. Cool, let's go."
So we can flash back to that scene later if
Sure.
there's an interesting interaction there. So I think you just see there's a bobcat running through the snow near this
All right.
miniature avalanche, and occasionally it circles back to like alongside the avalanche, and then it gets ahead, and then it circles back. It's a little odd.
And maybe in the
behavior.
distance you hear of European style voice shouting and you don't know where it's coming from.
Yeah, exactly. Probably assume it's, well, I don't know where you might assume it's coming from, but there's some shouting going on, and it's
Alright,
There's
so-
a chance it's French?
I mean, you might hear some French come back. Oh, you mean he might speak French?
He might speak French, he
I'm
might not speak
gonna
French.
Fiddlesticks, you should put a you should do a maneuver on the mech. Like you give it directions, so you want to put an aspect on it that's like good directions or can see the snow, something like that.
Okay.
And you're probably using like lead or sense. Yeah, you're using sense
I think,
because
yeah, sense makes sense.
you can't really, can't really do it with lead. So
Yeah, okay. Yeah, I'm totally gonna do that. What do we got?
all
3?
right. And then I'll make Theo roll pilot.
Okay.
Yeah, that's good enough. So that's like temporary aspect.
Cool, cool, cool.
So that's a scope 1 aspect. F power 1. Okay, so let's just say directions. So go ahead and roll me a pilot. Your difficulty is going to be, so basically everything I can think of that makes it difficult for you adds 2. So you can't see where you're going, and you can't see the landscape either, right? So like you can neither know where you're going, nor you can know if you're going to trip over something. Like this is uneven ground, and it's kind of muddy too. So you're having trouble. Like sometimes you're on ice, and sometimes you're in mud. Sometimes you're in like you step into the river on
Slush.
accident. Sometimes you trip over a tree. Like it's a real pain in the butt.
Okay.
So
But you can use that aspect I just created for free to get another +2, right? To your
Yes.
roll.
So what would my total plus be then? Because this is my first roll in Fate.
+4.
So you have a +2 from pilot,
Okay.
and you can choose to use good directions. The first time is free.
Yeah, let's do
For your
that.
+2.
Yeah, absolutely. And
So
what's-
just roll.
I mean, you don't have to choose that until after you roll, right?
Right, you don't have to use
Oh, okay.
any aspects.
So I
Or
can
any
add 2
bonuses?
retroactively if it'll help me.
Right. But
Okay.
we typically will add the skill in when you roll.
Sure. And what is my difficulty?
It's 4.
4. Okay. Got it.
Well, you don't need it.
Nice.
Wow. Yeah, like the mech is not having any trouble. It's just making a beeline for the shelters on the shore of the river. I don't think Jack will see the bobcat because A, he might try and shoot it, and B, he's trying to cut down trees. He's not really looking for things to shoot. So you get closer and closer, and Jack like knocks down this tree, and he's like dragging it. But what is Jemima doing?
How close are they at this moment?
I mean, they've been getting closer and closer. They're probably like a minute away now. Like Jack's like at the very last second got this tree, and he's like putting it between 2 other trees so that it might divert the avalanche. It's like he's like, why is this avalanche coming straight for us? It's so narrow and small.
Mm-hmm. Jack's perceiving things weirdly, and I have like issues with my eyes. I need glasses, and there's snow everywhere.
Yeah, there might be some snow blindness going on.
Mm-hmm. So
yeah, I'm going to compel your need glasses and say that you also think it's an avalanche. Will you accept this compel? You can choose not to by spending a fate point. But if you agree, you get another fate point. All right, there's another fate point for you.
So I'm just going along with whatever Jack says because Jack seems worried, and to my eyes, that's an avalanche.
So Jack says, "It's almost here. Take shelter." And that's what Lucas says. And who has faith in the Lord need not fear the Lord's own work.
Jack, come back into shelter once you have whatever you're making to protect us done.
Oh yeah, like Jack's like diving into the shelter because it's like right upon almost. And the avalanche is getting closer and closer. And so Fiddlesticks, you can see like there's this trap been constructed that the mech's going to trip over. It keeps going forward, and then there's a house on the other side, so the mech might like trip over the tree and then land face down into the house, crushing it. What do you do?
I think I'll call for the mech to stop.
Okay.
Yeah, okay, we'll stop. We're probably close enough anyway.
Just stop. Does it make sound when it stops?
I think it's more like it doesn't make a particular sound. It's more just like suddenly there's a lack of sound.
Yeah, it's like it doesn't screech. It's just
it's like yeah, it's just like and it's done.
And Jack's like under the bed. And Dee's like under the bed with them. Like they both have like, their head underneath the bed. And where is Jemima?
Jemima's like in the house, but like sort of peeking outdoors.
So you look outside and there's like some slight snowdrift from the wind, but it doesn't look like anything is moving towards you. Like when you get snow blindness, you can't really see shapes or movement very well. You just see bright light and the snow.
And all the after image. Yeah.
Yeah. You just can't see anything out there. You don't hear any more of the strange sound either.
I'm gonna pray, God, protect us from this avalanche. See us through to Oregon, if it is your will. Amen.
All right.
And then I'm gonna shut the door.
You go outside? Is that what's happening?
Oh no, I'm like shutting the door while I'm in the house, I think.
Okay, so you're shutting the door behind Jack after he dives in.
Yeah, gotcha.
Makes sense. So Fiddlesticks, you heard the door slam?
I think we found ourselves civilization.
What makes you think that?
Well, there's a house just up ahead, and I definitely heard movement inside. Give me a moment to get presentable.
Okay. I'm sure giving the thumbs up is far too modern a gesture, but I get a gesture of approval. Chap.
Yeah.
This is when in the TV show there's a splash screen that comes on that's just like, how does shape-shifting with clothes work? And then all of a sudden it's in Fiddlesticks' human form.
I was just regretting that we didn't have, like... It's just so hard to GM when you don't know everything. Like, I would really like that splash screen to just show up right now and tell me, like, what to use instead of a thumbs up.
Right?
Something.
Yeah.
Alright, so Fiddlesticks, you're getting presentable.
Yep.
Are you, like, do you have, like, the same form you used last time? Was that the idea?
Yeah, I think so. I think that's his, like, go-to human form. I I think it's
Okay.
theoretically possible for him to take other shapes, but he hasn't really experimented with it very much.
All right. I don't need to make you roll this time. So you just become the same human you was before. Does he have to get into clothes, or does the clothes just magically appear?
I feel like the clothes magically appear.
Okay, the clothes magically appear.
And I don't think they're always the same exactly. I think they're um I think there's like it's very similar to last time, but maybe with like an extra layer of like fur ruff around his jacket or something. Basically, it slowly becomes a little bit flashier.
Okay. I think also you like you have a different haircut
Sure, yeah.
every time you change. Like if people saw you recently between changes, you'd be like, that's not quite right, unless you took special effort
Yeah, yeah,
to
yeah,
like
yeah.
keep the same, keep exactly all the details the same.
Definitely.
All right, that makes sense. So yeah, you immediately sink through the snow because you're not in bobcat form anymore.
Yep. Well, I think I was probably like crouching on top of the thing. You know?
Okay, on top of the mech.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think we like can flash back to a time before during this like 2-week journey where he tried to to walk with his human feet instead of his bobcat feet and just like fell like straight into the snow. And then like I pictured like Jordan explaining how snowshoes work. So he's like crouching on top of the thing and like it's like reaching down. It's like, all right, hand me some of them fancy snow things.
I will give the cat a pair of snowshoes.
Yeah. He'll strap those on and then hop off.
All right, so you walk in tons of snow.
Yeah.
And I guess you go around to the front door.
Yeah.
The cats knock.
Not really. But we also don't open doors. We also don't open doors.
You yell at someone else until they open the door for you.
Exactly.
And then
So you're like, hey, I'm out here.
Exactly. Excuse me, friends.
Hey, I know you're in there.
I do believe I heard you enter this domicile shortly ago, and we are on the lookout for some friends of ours. Was hoping you'd give us some information, perhaps, and we could help you. You could help us.
I open the door, like back in towards me.
Oh, Jemima, fantastic to see you. Oh, you probably don't remember me, but that's all right. Hello.
Hello.
The two of us are probably like behind her, or behind him.
Do we have enough snowshoes for all of us? Let's say we do. Okay,
Sure,
we'll be
I
with.
was like, I don't see why
Might
not.
have snowshoes,
Yeah, I don't see why not.
Yeah, let's all go
Break
then.
is like if you actually want them, you could make resources tests to have them.
Mm-hmm.
Who's got good resources?
I don't have any.
Mm.
Isn't it
probably
spend?
don't have snowshoes. Oh, it is spend. My bad.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I
I
have
do.
spend.
Ooh, I don't have.
Yeah.
Oh, nope, you don't.
You still don't have. Okay, so
Am I the only one
Jemima
that
has
took
some
spend? Okay.
No, Lavender has spend.
Okay,
And you can still
I see
try.
it.
Like I think like you only need a difficulty 2 to get snowshoes.
No, it's okay. I can wait in the mech. It's fine.
I mean, let's say we're popping out of the mech waving, like, hey, hi.
Yeah.
It's like the anime thing where you're too lazy to animate everyone get out of the mech. So it's
Yeah,
like,
exactly. So
people
it's just
pop
like-
out waving.
Yeah. Exactly like that. So like when Jemima opens the door and Fiddlesticks just kind of like says hello in a very friendly way and just like is gonna walk inside. Regardless of how close he has to get to Jemima to do that, it might be a
that's
little bit
alright.
awkward.
just gonna walk inside, walk back outside, demand the door be shut, then demand the door be open, and walk back in.
That's later. That's later.
I'm just gonna get into all of your stuff, and I want you to be cool with it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's all kinds of cool stuff. Like they had all their possessions like just dumped on the floor, so to get to them.
Mm-hmm.
What do we have in here?
There's a bunch of books too, isn't there?
Yeah, there's a bunch of Bibles that we have in here. Trying to find my...
I'm not super interested in Bibles unless someone has it open and they're actually actively reading it.
Yeah, exactly.
What's the
And you
Bible?
can like lay on it.
Exactly.
Speaking of cats, I just captured mine.
Oh, cute!
I love you, cat. Because you're a
That's
cat.
Morgana.
Hi, Morgana. You're a cat.
I want to
You
pet
are a
you.
cat. Mm.
Aw.
All right, you can go back to doing what you were doing. As I picked her up, and she was like, "What? No."
Don't touch.
Now she's licking herself like, "Ugh, you got your smell on me."
Mhm.
Speaking of smell, the entire cabin smells like sourdough, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does.
Oh yeah, sourdough starter.
I don't have my equipment on this sheet, and I'm not sure where it is. I had sourdough starter. I had
Weird books.
which are Bibles.
Religious Bibles.
There you go. And hymnals.
Well, you lost your sauce.
That's it.
That's right.
And
yeah.
those were the three things that I think I had. Okay, cool.
Mhm.
So we have sourdough starter and Bibles. Neat.
Yeah, I'll put those on this page eventually. I just have the tabletop simulator open in another window.
Yep.
That'll work. So yeah, Fiddlesticks just kind of edges his way inside. And I don't know how awkward that Jemima makes that. But he's definitely like smiling, got a friendly attitude, like he knows you, and starts like looking around at everybody else in there, and is like naming them, oh, Jack, D, good, yes, fantastic. Oh, that's... We're trying to collect the rest of the caravan, you see, and it's good to see you here. Glad that you're not even further away. Make sure that everyone's going to make it just fine to Oregon City.
I'm waiting for the awkward. Where's Amos?
Oh, yeah. So there's definitely got to be that moment, because I don't think Fiddlesticks has any tact. I mean, he does, but he doesn't.
Yeah.
So he's, like, gone and counted everybody. He's like, you expect Amos back soon? Yeah?
How much are you lingering near the door?
I think he's, like, kind of... He's walked in, and he's, like, kind of striding around. He's not, like... going... He's walked in, and it's like he owns this house, you know?
Yeah.
Like, he's not, like, going through your stuff or being shady, but he just walked in like this was his house, and you're like, this is actually my house.
I'm gonna close the door back because it's cold.
Yeah.
And my body can't take that cold. I'm going to say we don't expect Amos to come back, although stranger things have happened.
Ah, right. Sorry about that then. About the rest of the caravan, who else is left around here?
We have everyone else plus a new member of the family, and I point to baby Lucas.
Oh, a baby. How adorable. Be best friends with Christopher.
At this point, Dee and Jack have gotten out from underneath the bed. And like just looking at this stranger. They're holding hands.
Face.
Jemima's gonna look at everyone and say, I've had hopes that we would make it to Oregon City. It's getting into the dead of winter now, but this is our chance that we've been provided to make it to Oregon City before spring comes.
This isn't as nice as I thought it would, this D.
It's better than the mud.
The mud's just underneath the snow, says Jack.
So you're looking to move on then? All the way to Oregon City, yes?
Yes.
Some of our old friends are outside. Theo, Jordan.
Oh,
Theo has made this amazing machine. I'm not entirely sure what he wants to call it or exactly what it does, but it's ginormous. And loud.
how'd you make it through? Is there an avalanche outside?
What? No. Goodness.
Just like many kinds of confusion.
He goes to the door and he opens it and he looks outside and then he closes it again and is yes, I see the confusion now. Yes, well, that is the amazing Teo's walking machine. Well, it's quite covered in snow buildup, but still, it's quite impressive.
It's very hard to tell that Jemima needs glasses because she doesn't wear glasses, which is why she needs glasses.
It's the problem when you don't have optometrists on every street corner.
Yeah.
They were just waving out there, but it's a bit chilly. I think they may have packed up again. Should I invite them in then? Have a little sit down, some tea maybe? Kippers?
Well, tea. But we do have plenty of bread still.
Well, I have some fish. let me go get them.
Okay, cool.
So there's probably like another dozen people in this area. Jack has like a whole wagon full of people, his family, and there's probably like at least 2 other families who have taken refuge across the river with you guys.
How deep is the snow now, would you say?
I'd say at least 8 feet tall.
I'm going to instruct Fiddlesticks of things that he can find in the forest so I can just fashion us some snowshoes out of like reeds and bark and stuff so we can at least make it across so we don't just like fall right in.
Hey, I have grow. Can I like make plants pop out of the snow?
You can.
Oh, that's right, because you have magic grow.
I have magic grow, yeah.
Ooh.
All right.
I mean, like, plants that are under the soil aren't dead. They're just dormant.
That's
So-
true. But
Yeah.
they need a little magic help to be like, oh,
Right.
here's the way
We
up.
just need a little massaging.
a little encouragement.
A little encouragement.
A little cheer squad.
So you can roll. It's gonna be fairly. I think it's like at least legendary.
I mean, it's magic, so...
Well, so
I mean,
here's the thing:
Be pretty
is
legendary.
that because it's a magic skill, you can spend a fate point to replace one of the fate dice with a d6, which is really good. And you have a pile of fate.
Just a D6 roll straight?
No,
As a number?
a d6, and you replace one of the fate dice. So it's 3
Right.
fate
But
dice and a
D6
d6.
rolls as a numerical value.
Yeah.
I'll do
That's
that.
ridiculously good.
That's ridiculously good, yeah.
So in this universe, remember though that currently we're at no magic level. So in order to make your magic work, you will be progressing the Doom timer.
I like Doom.
Yeah, I think we're on board for Doom, but also my character isn't associated with any of the magic dooms.
That's right.
So,
This is generic Doom.
okay. Also, don't ever give me special powers in a game if you don't expect me to use them.
No,
We all like Doom. We all signed up for Doom.
for Doom.
All right,
Like, Doom will happen.
minutes to midnight. Let's go.
All right. So you can. So it's Fate. You're familiar with Fate. You have all these aspects you can use as well.
Yep.
You do need to spend the Fate point to replace, substitute the D6 on first, though.
Yeah. Go. Done.
So do that.
Done. Okay.
So roll your 3DF plus 1D6.
Okay.
Plus
So how do I do this? Is there there's a button for dice rolling?
I don't think there.
Just roll 3DF and then I guess that'll work. Yeah.
You have to type an exclamation point roll.
It would be slash
roll.
Slash roll. Okay, roll 3DF
Plus 1D6 plus 4.
1D6 plus 4.
And apparently I rolled super badly. What's going on here?
Wow.
Yeah, that is a terrible roll.
That rolled
You rolled
exactly the same.
thing.
I don't trust
What are
that.
the chances?
I don't trust that result.
What are the chances?
Well, that
Okay,
was at
okay.
least different. So
Okay.
it's not broken.
I'm very suspicious about the universe we live in sometimes. It appears you failed to grow, but you have aspects you can invoke and stuff.
Okay, what number was I looking for?
An 8.
No, it'll just fail.
Okay. So yeah, you try and grow things. The universe gets a little bit spookier, but
Should it get spookier if it doesn't go off?
Yes,
Okay.
because it only counts the first time we've seen that somebody does it.
Okay.
So from now on, everyone, this part of the world, now you can just substitute your D6s all day long.
I like to think that it stimulated something under the ground and
Yeah.
weird beneath the soil, but it just didn't.
It didn't do
grow
what
up.
you wanted to do.
Didn't do what I wanted it to do.
Yeah.
Something grew. It just
Next
Maybe
spring.
it went down instead of up
up
or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, you come back here in the spring, who knows what you'll find.
Yeah.
I like it.
So
I'll
I
put it
send
back.
Fiddlesticks off to collect bark and stuff out of the forest so I can make us some snowshoes.
I should be able to do that fairly easily, I think.
Let's see here. I'm adding an aspect on the Burnt River.
Nice.
Roll.
Does Jemima have to provide her group with snowshoes as well?
Yeah.
Okay, that's what I thought, actually.
So let's see. Fiddlesticks is just going to get snowshoes right away, though, right?
I think it's a plan.
Okay. And you're harvesting them?
I guess?
Because, yeah, basically I'm getting Fiddlesticks to get the materials and then I'm going to build them
Okay.
based off of the snowshoes that Fiddlesticks is using.
Which I sort of, kind of, depending on your definition of stole from Jordan.
But it's okay. We're going to have dozens after this. We'll have,
Yes.
it's fine.
So you can still use spend.
Okay.
I was looking at all the skills and what would you use to scavenge or gather things?
There isn't really a skill for that, per se.
Not that
Not
I've
really.
seen. The other thing I
That's
was thinking is maybe
interesting.
sense what is the correct material.
Yeah.
That was kind of what I was leaning towards.
You can also use shape shifting, I guess, to just turn into something that can just dig into dirt and just cut up everything and carry it back. like a Wolverine, a giant Wolverine, bobcat, bear?
I think I'm more comfortable using sense because I don't think Fiddlesticks is going to push the limits of his shapeshifting unless he absolutely has to.
He's not that kind of a shapeshifter.
No.
Probably doesn't even know what he can do with it yet.
Exactly, and he's a lazy cat. He doesn't want to have to find out.
Right, so sense isn't an active skill, so you're gonna like put an aspect on the scene that's like there's easily accessible materials for building.
Okay.
All right. That's a local aspect, so it's gonna be difficulty 2.
Okay. And I got +3. Okay.
Oh, you got it.
Plenty.
All right. So you can reuse this aspect. And who's going to build the snowshoes then?
Tail?
Yeah, so I'm gonna use those materials to build snowshoes. So we can traverse the snows.
Okay, so you have a +4 in build. So you need to build a lot of these. So I made this thing called the time space chart.
Okay.
Because
Is it somewhere we can see it?
yeah, I'm trying to figure out.
Okay.
Here's the time space chart. Is it was one big image? Yeah, it is. All right. I'm gonna put it. Well, we're not all on Twitch chat. I'll put it in the Zoom.
Oh gosh, that's really dark. Because it's got a transparent background.
Yeah. It's white background for me in Firefox.
Yeah, in Chrome
No.
it's like almost black.
Same here.
Yeah.
Well, I'm using Opera, but Opera runs on Chrome, basically.
It does, huh? I didn't know that.
Mm-hmm. That's why I use
What happens if I open Internet Explorer? Internet Explorer shows it as white. I'm sure you all have that.
Which thing are we looking at?
He posted it in Twitch chat. I can post it in Roll20
I put it
chat
in
for
Zoom
you.
chat as well. If you click on the chat button.
There. Also
I was
that.
trying to figure out what y'all were looking at. Oh, there it is. Okay.
Okay.
All right.
I just open up Firefox. It's fine.
That is definitely black on Chrome.
Yep.
Yep.
Oh, I don't have a number of people here? That's really strange. All right. Oh, wait, here's all of humanity. And there's a man. So it probably is in between all of humanity and a man. So there's a dozen of them. So I'll just use the time column. So we have, let's see here.
Like a
8
cottage of
minutes.
people?
And then there's like, okay. So it's just going to be difficulty 2 to get, like 2 more difficulty to get enough for everybody. Okay. So, and then how difficult is to make it just have snowshoes? They're pretty cheap. So let's say 2. So your total difficulty will be a 4.
Okay. Alright, so I'm rolling build. So that gives me a +4 already.
Mm-hmm.
And if I need to, I can use that aspect of readily available materials.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And that would give me a +2 if I need it.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, or you can use it to reroll.
4DF?
Yep.
Yes. +4. 6.
You got them. All right, so
I'm
yeah,
so good at this.
so
My dumb rolls are coming back to haunt me again.
yeah. So by default, it'd probably take a few hours to make enough, but you do it in like, let's say, just 1 hour, and you have enough snowshoes for everybody. So, yeah, everyone gets their snowshoes on. They pick up whatever they can carry. Adam, I think your group has to make some choices about what they carry.
Mm-hmm.
We could also spend a couple of days maybe seeing if we could retrofit the wagons with skis, and then we could drag them with the mech as well.
Sure. You guys, do you want to retrofit Jemima's high-tech wagon with skis?
So we're basically making like a dog sled, but for a walking stove.
Yes, that is exactly what we were doing.
Yeah, that sounds perfect. That sounds perfect.
Multiple
Taking
wagons.
truck oil, I love it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So yeah, if you're on board, let's do this.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So your giant. It's also stuck in the mud. So okay, it's stuck in the mud. It's definitely fairly big. So I think I would like make it like the same difficulty as changing a wagon wheel. So let's say that's like a base of difficulty 4.
Mm-hmm.
And it's stuck in the mud, so difficulty 6.
That's okay. I got a lot of fate points.
You do.
Same here.
I think it's just difficulty 6.
Okay.
And you could also just use a D6 in there. Oh, I guess machine telepathy might not be too helpful.
Yeah, I don't think that really works for this. This would be more like I could use that maybe instead of pilot or something like that.
Yeah.
But not really for building.
And since
okay.
build is a narrative skill, they're actually going to be using it to put an aspect on the wagon. So we're going to be adding the aspect skis onto the wagon.
Sure. Cool. So let's see how this works. For the F plus 4, 6 again.
All right, that's what you needed.
Nice. I'm glad you're good at rolling dice, Stany.
I don't know why I am.
I mean, you were good at rolling dice in the board game, and we weren't even using Roll20 then, so you can't even blame the API.
I know. I don't understand. And the funny thing is like it's mostly just with you, Kelsa. Like when I'm in groups with you,
I'm your good luck charm.
I guess so. Because like I have a D&D game on the side, and I do not roll this well in that D&D game.
Maybe it's just D6s versus D20s.
That could be.
Yeah.
D20s are evil.
True. Facts.
All right, so you get the wagon hooked up to the mech. Everyone gets behind it with their snowshoes, and you all start moving out of the valley and towards the west and the safety of Oregon City. I think it's a good place for a break.
Yeah, I agree.
Are we playing until 11 or?
Actually,
Yeah.
Yeah, we should.
10:59.
Yeah, we should probably just call it for the night. Actually,
Yep.
now that you're correct and I look at the time.
Yeah, I forgot. That's
All right.
okay.
Yeah.
I mean, I think this is a
a
good
good place.
ending point
I think so,
anyway.
too.
Yeah.
On,
Good
like,
stopping point, yeah.
All right, let's move
So,
over
yeah.
to this screen. No, this was a good start, and now we're all together, and it's perfect. And
Yeah.
I think we're moving out of. Why is it doing this again?
Oh no.
It's just decided to not see KingSeras for some reason.
Oh, that's so weird.
Like, okay, so on the edit screen, it shows her, but on the live screen it doesn't.
That's so weird.
All right, I think that fixed it. We'll find out. Okay, anyway, we're back to nothing.
To outros.
We're back to outros. Yeah.
Oh, I'm giving everybody an extra significant milestone. I'll explain XP next time.
Cool.
You guys don't want to do XP homework, right? So, yeah. But the basic idea is that you can create places or characters permanently. You can change aspects you have to things you're more interested in. You can change your skills around. Like if you would decide you really need spend, you can get that. And you can like change the breadth of what skills do. And those are basically the things you do with XP.
Cool. All right.
All right.
Well, this was fun. I'm glad we got everything together, and now we're gonna say goodbye. We're gonna go in opposite land order, so that means starting with Golden.
Okay. Well, thanks everybody. This went pretty well. I want to apologize for anybody I offend because I said something racist or otherwise, not correct. But like this is a game that like I made knowing that occasionally I do something wrong, but know that I do apologize for it. So, hope you enjoy this game. Hopefully, it'll be a learning experience for me to be more sensitive and more aware of, what the correct things to say are. And, hopefully this game helps everybody in that way too.
Cool. And thank you. Where can people find you on the internet when you're not here, Golden?
You can find me on my Twitch channel. It's twitch.tv/GoldenWH. This week we're getting back to Stars Without Number, where ironically one of the player's characters has to prove that they're a person. So science fiction is fun.
Mm-hmm.
That actually sounds really interesting.
I'm looking forward to it. And I'm playing a racist asshole, and sometimes I let my racism out a little bit so people can stomp on it.
As long as that's the reason.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. What about you, KingSeras? What not racist things have you been doing?
I do lots of not racist things kind of on the regular.
Yeah. That's what
I like to think my life has more not racist things in it than racist things.
That's good. That's good.
Yeah.
That's good.
I mean, everybody makes mistakes and are the product of their upbringing, but I like to think I do more not racist than racist things. You guys are all invited to come check out my show. You can look it up. Bonus Experience. The website is bxpcast.com. I no longer have to read you a big long URL because our listeners gave us enough money to buy a domain name.
Yay!
Nice.
Yeah. Actually, if you want to give us money, there's a whole bunch of ways to do it on the show, including buying a whole bunch of products I worked on. We have a Drive-Thru RPG affiliate link, and there is a page called How to Give Us Money, and it has a list of every single Onyx Path product I've worked on, with a link that actually gives money to the show. So I highly encourage anybody who wants to support us to go and buy the products I wrote on and give us a little bit of a kickback. But subscribe to it. It is on anywhere you find podcasts. It's on SoundCloud. It's on Stitcher. It's on Google Play. It's on Apple Podcasts. Go give it a listen. It's a design show. We are two queer women. We talk with authority about games. We've done a bunch of interviews lately. We're going to do some more interviews coming up. Unfortunately, I'm going to be traveling in the next 2 weeks, so I'm not going to be. I don't know if you're going to meet without me, but that's fine. So I may not be on the show. I know all of you are heartbroken.
I am.
I'm sure
we are, though.
I'll think of you fondly while I'm very busy. And I finished the model I was working on.
Oh,
Nice. It looks good.
Ooh.
Oh, I like
Looks really
him.
good.
It's got a little mohawk going on. Oh, yeah.
Nice.
I don't know if the camera is showing that I got eyeballs to turn out.
No, that's totally not focusing on the eyeballs.
Okay, but I got eyeballs to turn out, which is a feat.
It is. I paint miniatures. I completely agree. That is
Yeah,
a feat. Congratulations.
Thanks. So yeah, that's it. I'm also developing the Scion Quick Start, which is a murder mystery adventure.
Ooh.
So that should actually be out pretty quickly, in probably 6 months or so from now. Adventures are pretty short to develop, so we don't really have to I don't have to commission anybody to do art. I don't have to do art notes. It's going to be all just sort of stock
Yeah.
in. And if you are going to PAX Unplugged at the end of November, the developer, Raymond Price, will be running a playtest version of the first draft. So
Ooh.
Nice.
that will be available. So if you're interested in that, come on by. I will also be there, and you can meet me in person.
I will be there. I will try to meet you in person.
Okay, I'm very tall.
Okay.
You mentioned, yeah.
I'm very average height, but my hair is bright pink.
Okay.
Also, at some point, my head will be shaved, and there'll be a clockwork tattoo on the side of my head.
Your tattoo is so cool, by the way.
I don't think
love
anybody
it.
else has anything even similar.
I may be in costume, so you might not recognize me because I have a real Clark Kent thing going on between being in costume and wearing this. I put my glasses on, nobody knows who I am. So I'll look for your head.
Okay, yeah, look for my head. Look
head.
for my head.
Look for anybody taller than you.
Okay.
Is it Monica?
Every time it's just gonna look at every person. Well, I do look at all the cosplayers, so.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. I mean, I'm sure you'll flag me down and I'll be like, I know that head.
Amazing.
Yes.
So yeah, that's all I got going on.
I'm looking forward to it. Awesome. Lavender, how about you? You're also making games, I've heard.
Mm-hmm. I'm gonna try to link this in Twitch chat, but I have no idea if a bot's gonna explode as soon as I do it.
No, you're good.
You're fine.
If you want to go to that link, you can pay me $20 and you can buy my, which is about reality TV stars who are being watched by eldritch horror and discovering their identities and what really matters to them.
Yeah.
And that game is taking over my life, and it's pretty great. Yeah, that's what I do.
Fantastic. I'll make sure that I include this link in the doobly-doo of the YouTube video, too.
Thank you. The doobly-doo is one of my tendrils, if you remember.
I do.
Yeah.
And Stani, I've heard you've been doing a lot of streaming lately.
I am always doing a lot of streaming.
And a lot of art.
And always doing a lot of art. More so this month than most months, but yeah.
Which is
I want
great.
to preface this by saying murder mysteries are my favorite, so I'm really excited to hear about Ceres's news. That sounds really cool. But anyway, back on me. Focus on me now. I'm Stani. If you don't know who I am, I do variety streams Tuesday through Friday on my own Twitch channel, twitch.tv/Stani. I do art streams every Wednesday. I'm doing Witchtober this year, so I'm drawing a witch every day, or trying to, and it's really hard to keep up with, but I'm doing that. I have a Patreon. I have a store. I'm a Humble Bundle partner now, so if you want to buy games through the Humble Bundle, I have an affiliate link, so you can give me money through that.
I've been to your store.
I know. Look at that case.
Type.
That is one of my favorite things that I sell.
I've gotten compliments from random strangers about this case.
I'm glad. I love that case. You know what? I'm just gonna drop links. Hold on. Let's just shill everything.
Shill.
Raining links.
Yeah, here's my Patreon.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And here's my store. And that'll work. I sell art. I make art. I do commissions. Not this month, but next month. Um, and we just hang out and have a good time when I stream. Like, it's just a really great community that I've built. Everybody's awesome. Oh yeah,
Thanks.
go ahead, Dark Lavender Board. Tell them what you just posted in the chat.
Oh, if you're on YouTube, I just posted that I also have a Patreon, where you can also get my game and pay for it for a little bit of money on a monthly basis instead of paying for it $20 all at once.
Yeah. Chill hard, everybody.
Golden, go.
Still harder.
Yeah. Golden, what was
What?
what was this that you dropped in chat too? Also Patreon?
Try clicking on it.
Does it not go anywhere?
One day, maybe.
One day maybe? Okay.
Not today.
Not today. All right. Well, thank you everybody for coming out. I'm Kelsa. It's my channel. I do role-playing games on the internet. Here over at AP Gaming Real sometimes, and hopefully back over at Actual Play with Lavender. Starting up question mark. We're going into the holidays, so who even knows? But I'm glad that we are finally actually rolling in Oregon, and
We're almost to Oregon again.
we're almost to Oregon again. The remix,
Reorganing.
the reorgan. It's great. It's great. Don't forget to follow and do all those things. Here, Twitch, YouTube, it's Kelsa Delphi. On Twitter, it's at Kelsa. I tweet when I'm going out live, and also adorable pictures of my dog. And lately, I have been doing Inktober. Not Witchtober. I'm not as cool as Astaney, but I've been pretty happy with how my Inktober's have been coming out. They're all full color, painted in ink, and it's been really liberating, honestly, to work in that medium like that, and to just be like all out. However it comes out is how it comes out. And some of them I've been much happier about than others. But I'm posting them all anyway. I'm a little bit behind myself, but I've been slowly, steadily catching up, so.
As long as you get it done, like, at some point, it's your art, your rules, your pace.
That's the plan. Alrighty. I'm going to kick us back to the splash screen faster than I expected to, because I forgot there's no transition. I don't have a time transition thingy set up. So anyway, goodbye everybody.
Bye.